Hey guys, my name is Ray, and today's the day that we finally got a preview for Game of Thrones Season 8, an official one. Now, I wanted to sit on this a couple of days because I know that everyone was doing their videos on it and I didn't have much time to do anything on it. But now that I do, and I finally was able to dig into it and speculate some, I wanted to make a video on it and talk about some of the stuff that I found interesting. And I actually might break some of these topics into individual videos since there is basically official information, right? All of this is coming from HBO and the showrunners. So I wanted to talk about some of the stuff that I found funny, some of the stuff I found interesting. One of them being about the reading. The first reading that they had for season 8 sounded like it was bonkers. It was totally funny, entertaining, emotional. It was all that good stuff. Now, I really wanted to talk about this because this was funny because before they did their table reading for season 8, two of the actors did not want to read it. And I totally understand the reasoning behind it. The reason that they gave was because why would you want to read it in your head when you get to have it read by the characters who are going to portray these characters, right? And the two actors were Liam Cunningham and Kit Harington. Kit Harington had a different reason from Liam Cunningham. Basically, the Davos actor said that, you know, he couldn't get into his tablet and I guess it was like double security or something like that. Kit Harington, on the other hand, gave that reason that he would have preferred to hear everybody reading their parts and kind of enjoy that instead of just reading it in his head and imagining it how, you know, kind of like reading a book. You know, you tend to set things up. I don't know. It seems kind of like a cool thing to have the actual actors read it to you instead of you having to read it. So, and this actually led to something very interesting to me, which is that Kit Harington cried. He wept, they said. So that goes to show you how emotional this season is going to be. It is said that he did not just weep. They said that he even cried a second time. So you already know how juicy this shit is going to be. Like, I'm not going to lie. This got me really hyped. Even though it's not nothing crazy, it did get me extremely, extremely hyped. Now, Benioff and Weiss also opened up like the whole proceeding, the whole table reading thing by asking the cast to not post anything or film anything, like, you know, to not reveal spoilers. It's crazy how in this article it states that they had like guns that could knock down drones, like specialized for this. And it's really awesome too because they also state that D&D actually had communication with Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy. Those are the people who are at Star Wars right now. Rian Johnson was the guy who gave us the very divisive The Last Jedi, and Kathleen Kennedy is basically the lady who runs Star Wars. And if there's anybody out there who knows how to maintain shit a secret, it's these people, because a lot of stuff didn't leak from, you know, Star Wars The Last Jedi, and a lot of like this year, or at least I haven't seen any of that stuff. If you have seen a lot of spoilers from them, you let me know. But the way that they made it seem is like they were surprised, they were shocked by all the crazy shit that they knew on how to avoid spoilers and how to, you know, really get around leakage. Also, we had a really funny, interesting quote from Joe Dempsey. He plays Gendry Baratheon on Game of Thrones, and basically this is what he had to say. There are moments where you don't trust yourself to have this in your brain, and to be honest, I think that that would be the way I would look at it as well, right? Because there's things that sometimes you have in your head, you're like, oh my god, I don't think I could. What if I talk in my sleep? What if I get drunk? And that's one of the things that he actually brings up. This is the second thing he had to say. You're in a possession of something millions of people want to know. It's such a bizarre feeling. And between now and when it comes out, I'm going to be drunk at some point. And this is so true. Could you imagine that you can't trust yourself with this information? Like, it is that serious. Any little person you might tell, some sweet nothings, anything you tell to a partner or anything, it's like the rule of one. You know that somebody tells you some gossip or something crazy and you have to tell that other one person so that you feel good. And that shit is real. I mean, you want something to be known, just tell one person and it will eventually, you know, get out there, especially if it's juicy enough for some people. Now this really got me juiced up. What's coming up next? It was said that they were filming the final scene when the person who wrote this article went, and he said two things of the scene. First off, he said that it was in a place, the scene was taking place somewhere that we have not seen in Westeros, which could be a bunch of places, right? We have a lot of famous places that we have not seen. We've seen Casterly Rock, we've seen Pike, we've seen the Eyrie, we've seen Bravos, we've seen all the major, like, you know, huge places that we would want to see, right? Now, to me, there's only one big place, or one place that I have heard of so much that I feel seems more realistic. I might do a video on this. I have a couple of options, but my number one place that I think this might be the Isle of Faces. Now, I'll probably, like I said, I'll make a video on it to tell you guys what I think might be happening, what might be going down. I haven't seen any videos on this or anything because, again, I've kind of been MIA, but I'm really excited. I'm telling you, I'm like sweating right now making this video. That's how hype I am. Another thing that was very interesting in this scene were the survivors that were in the last scene. Now, to me, this could be very interesting. It could be very tricky as well, like, because I believe that it just depends on who's the person watching the scene, right? Let's say, for example, if Jon lives. Jon is one of those characters that a lot of people think might die. If you see him alive, you might be surprised. Daenerys as well. And you might be surprised that, I don't know, maybe a character like Davos might not be there. It should be very interesting. I don't know, man. I should make a video like on all these things individually because I'm that excited about it. It was really dope and I really wanted to make this video. As soon as I had time, I was like, let me make this video because it has to be done. They talked about so much stuff on here that I was legit like, how should I even make this video? Because, you know, I wanted to talk about everything, give it its respect and its space. But I was like, you know what? Let me just do this. Now, the final thing that I wanted to talk about was that they were talking about why they didn't make a movie. Yes, a Game of Thrones fucking movie. Now, I know that a bunch of us are mixed on this because I have talked to people in the past that have told me no, they would just want to see it on HBO. Why pay more? Now, I am, for one, a person who loves going to the movies. I love the movie theater experience. Those big screens, the audio, and just like the camaraderie of being with fellow fans of something, I think is dope. You know what I mean? I love that shit. But I also see why HBO didn't want to do this. Now, I might make a video separately about this because I do think that it is something that has lingered in the community. We know that George R.R. Martin himself did want a movie, but I think that for HBO's bottom line, it made more sense to do it like this. And plus, maybe if they would have done the movie, you know, it wouldn't have worked out for us because we would have probably had to wait like 3 years to get a movie a year at least. But I don't know, man. Like, there was so much good stuff in this. If you have not seen it or read it, I suggest you do because it is awesome. It is free. And I'm just saying, wow, man, like legit. They really did a good teaser with this. I really enjoyed it. There's a bunch of awesome quotes about it too. Like, for God's sakes, Kit Harington, who's always just like serious and doesn't give anything away, was said to be weeping and crying multiple times. Like, I get that you know, you might be like, you know what? They always tend to exaggerate, but guess what? That to me is like, yo, whatever he was crying and weeping at, maybe involved him. I'm telling you, I gotta do like multiple videos on this shit because it's really that dope. But guys, thanks for jumping in and checking in. Like I said, I'll be doing more videos. I got my mic fixed now, so everything should be good. Thank you guys for all your support on Patreon and all that. Thanks to you guys, I was able to put some stuff in motion, and I'll let you guys know probably on the stream that I'm planning up soon. So thanks you guys as always. It's always a true pleasure. My name is Ray, and peace.